Army. Hey, what's up, you guys? Oh my god, the day has finally come. Happy Black Veil Brides Day, guys. Happy BVB Day to the BVB Army. So if you're coming across this video or you're roughly new to BVB, welcome to June 17th. Happy BVB Day. So just a quick recap if you don't know why today is so special for the BVB Army. It's because in 2009, on June 17th, Knives and Pens music video was released by Black Veil Brides. It was the first Black Veil Brides music video that premiered and for everyone to watch. That was the first music video and song I ever saw. And ever since that day, I've been hooked and became a fan of Black Veil Brides. So again, happy Black Veil Brides Day to everyone in the BVB Army community. Just thank you. I am going to try to make this intro pretty short as I can because this video is already long as it is. I'm super excited for everyone who's watching this video to watch this video. This video is very special for me and I hope it's going to be very special for all the fans in the BVB Army. Last month I announced on my social media accounts that I was interested to hearing some Black Veil Brides fan stories and actually share them on my YouTube channel. And I wasn't really expecting that much of a response, maybe a couple responses here and there, but the response I got was amazing, overwhelming and amazing, and I wasn't expecting it. And thank you, Chris, for sharing that news that I wanted to hear it. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all the fans that I got a chance to interview here for trying to figure out time with me, with different time zones here and there, and just thank you for letting me hear your stories. And for those fans who we tried to schedule something but something came up, it was time zones or technology issues, I am truly heartbroken and am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. And I hope I get another chance to do this again. There was so much said in these interviews. I wish I could put all what was said, the conversations, the stories in this whole video, but it would make this video like 4 hours long. So I really had to cut down a lot. I don't know if this is 4 parts or 2. I was aiming to, but if it's 4 parts, it's 4 parts. Please enjoy watching this video. I will definitely have timestamps on the description of letting you guys know what questions I ask if you want to know what questions and where to go and find them. I definitely did have to cut out a lot, and I'm hoping later on down in the future I will make another video of just all these amazing stories that I heard that you won't get to hear in this video. I also want to thank the fans who did write their stories to me, and you'll definitely get to see them in this video. You may have to pause to read their stories, but their stories were wonderful to read. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And to all the fans, I truly enjoy talking to you guys, and you guys made me smile and laugh, and just hearing your story has been amazing. So just thank you. And just thank you again to Black Veil Brides for everything. When I think you're done changing my life, you hit me with another one and you still continue changing my life. So thank you. And without further more, meet the BVB fans.
I'm 22.
My name is Amber and I'm 27.
Hi, I'm Katherine. I'm 19 years old.
Hey, I'm Kiara. That's my wrestling name. My real name is Steph.
My name is Ren. I'm 25.
My name is Niccole Perkins. I'm currently 26 years old.
My name is actually Sherry, but I've been called Cherry most of my life.
Hey, my name is Tyler. I'm 20.
Lara Watson. And I've been a fan since 2010, so over 10 years.
I have been a fan of Black Veil Brides since, I want to say 2012.
I started listening to Black Veil, I believe I was 9 years old. I was in 4th grade.
I've been a fan of Black Veil Brides since 2012.
I've been a fan since 2009.
And I have been a fan of Black Veil Brides for 11 years now.
And I've been listening to Black Veil Brides since about 2011, about halfway through 2011.
And I've been a fan of Black Veil Brides since 2009-ish.
The time that I discovered Black Veil Brides, I had 3 very young children, and I was homeschooling all 3 of them. So music was something that I had to you don't put music on hold, but I couldn't put a lot of attention into at the time. Discovered them through a trailer for Transformers. I remember the trailer just being so high energy and the song. And so that's when I first heard them. And then I was like, oh, who's that? So I went to go look them up. They sound pretty cool.
I didn't know how to sign in on YouTube back then. And I was like on just my sister's account. And I came across Knives and Pens a year later. I didn't find it in 2009, but when I was in high school, I was just on YouTube and they came on and I was like, this is so cool, because I grew up with Motley Crue, Kiss and all that, same with Andy. Mm-hmm. And I loved that whole thing, and Michael Jackson as well, all of it, so I just found them on YouTube, become a fan of them, and I was the only one and another person that liked them in my school, and then everybody else was just ew, goth, and I was like, okay.
I don't think I've ever actually told anyone this. I was part of a thing called Teen Court, where we would sit as jurors and judge kids that had gotten in trouble for things, minor things. And after Teen Court one day, I was in the parking lot with a few guys that were also part of Teen Court, and one of them played Knives and Pens. I loved it so much, I went home, looked it up on YouTube, and just watched it on repeat. So that was my first introduction to it.
I discovered them through a friend who was completely obsessed with Andy. And I was like, he looks really familiar. He's kind of cute. And then started looking into them and I'm like, and he can sing. Wow.
So I was finishing a wrestling training session, and my sister was going to buy me a Kerrang magazine because I had spent all my money on said training session. And I had stopped buying Kerrang for years at that point. And we were in WH Smith's, which is a small shop here in the UK, in the land of the Uck. And I just saw the cover and it was all about Black Veil Brides, and I had no idea who they were, and I was like, can you buy me this? Can you buy me this? Please, please, please. So I credit my sister, thanks to her buying that Kerrang magazine. She always groans. She's like, oh, because she knows how obviously massively into Black Veil Brides I am. I'm like, well, you're the one who started it.
So I've never, back in high school, I want to say around 10th grade I was in, I didn't everyone around me had a favorite band, and my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, he loved this band Senses Fail. And the way that he just loved music, I wanted something like that, because music never spoke to me pretty much. I didn't care about music, didn't care to listen to it. So, but because of my husband, I really wanted to just find that band. And I literally, I spent, we were going through in school, we were at the computer, we're listing all these bands that we're going to listen to. Mm-hmm. And we went through them. And it's funny, Black Veil Brides was never actually on the list to begin with. It was actually, I was about ready to give up after listening to a bunch of bands. It's not that they weren't good, they were great, but I was like, they don't speak to me, And then being on YouTube, it was suggestions, something that you may like, and it came up with Black Veil Brides, Knives and Pens music video. So I was like, I'll make that the last one that I click on for tonight, and I'll try again tomorrow. And I fell in love right then and there, you know? It's so hard to explain that the feeling that they gave me, but it was just something that I knew that, you know, I wanted to have. And because of ever since that day, yeah, I love music now. You know, I have that favorite band. I love going to concerts. So I think it's just really cool what they have done for me.
I was in elementary school and we had these Chromebooks, and one of the websites we would go on is called Groove Shark, which was a online streaming, like, kind of like not illegal Spotify.
Yes, I remember that. Oh my God.
And my friend had an older sister that liked Black Veil, so she would listen to Black Veil and we would share headphones. And it was beginning of 4th grade, so they only had We Stitch These Wounds. Mm-hmm. Like, it was 2010. Yeah, 2010. So, and then once I did get social media when I was in 6th grade, that's when I like started really listening to them. And yeah, that's where I started.
You mentioned your mom was telling you about these beautiful guys with the fallen angels and stuff. So is that how you basically discovered Black Veil Brides then? So from your mom?
Yeah, that was the first moment I ever saw and heard Black Veil Brides.
That's
awesome.
That
was quite amazing.
Honestly, I find that so adorable and cute that it was your mom who introduced you to Black Veil Brides.
Yeah, my mum's been actually had quite a fortunate time in the music industry.
I found them like right before We Stitch These Wounds came out and everything. I actually found Andy on MySpace previous to that. I was like in middle school, and this girl that I was friends with like had them on her binder, and I was like, who are they? They look really cool. She's like, oh, it's this band called Black Veil Brides. And I like looked them up and everything, and then I was like, holy shit, I love this. And then I like, you know, kind of got to be there from the very start.
That was hard. I generally love every single one. I wouldn't say that there's one that I prefer more than the other, because I just listen to, you know, every album is like mixed onto my playlist. So I listen to every single song, every single album. You just love, yeah, I know,
all
I'm so
the
sorry.
albums.
I prefer all of them. Like, each one just gets better, you know? I can't pick.
I do love all of them, but I believe Wretched and Divine's my favorite. Yeah, I love concept albums.
Set the World on Fire.
Really? Okay.
Really? Yeah, it's hard between We Stitch These Wounds or Set the World on Fire, but I just love the aesthetic and like the sound. I grew up listening to 80s glam rock. My mom was like, she grew up and she was a teenager in the 80s, and so I got raised on like Guns N' Roses and, you know, Def Leppard and Kiss and Motley Crue. And so when that came out, I was just like, oh yeah, this is my album.
Favorite album so
Wretched
far?
and Divine, hands down.
Yes.
Gotta go with Wretched and Divine.
Yes, thank you.
Some might disagree, but I'd say they're all so different. I think it has to be Set the World on Fire. For many reasons, but definitely Set the World on Fire.
I'd have to say Set the World on Fire would be my favorite.
Okay.
The song Ritual, I have song lyrics tattooed on my arm, actually.
Nice.
In Andy's handwriting.
Apart from the restitched one, but I would say We Stitch These Wounds is my favorite.
Why do you guys ask that question?
It's just out of curiosity.
No, you can't. I can't choose. It's always
That's
different.
fair. I mean, hey, it's if you love all of them, they're all your favorites, and you will be my second one who told me that.
I do, but I go back and forth. It depends on like my mood for the month.
Okay, so what is your favorite album then right now at this moment?
Oh gosh, I would have to say Wretched and Divine.
I knew you were about to ask that. Hold on. Just
awesome. Perfect. Look at that.
wait, I kind of prepared for this.
Okay.
Question. I had Andy write it out for me. Like,
probably Ritual. I had gone through a really rough breakup, and it essentially kind of like put me in a really bad headspace. and hearing Andy's words and just listening to how like the melodies and stuff are, and I really love the guitars. Yeah. And I think that's one of my favorite parts.
So would you say Lost Doll is your favorite song then? Or is it kind of in the top 3, top 5?
I would say this is like a top 5 because I have other favorites.
Yeah, I could definitely give top 3.
Okay.
The Legacy, for sure. That song kicks ass. That song
video is pretty awesome too.
The music video, just the song in general when they play it live. Oh, chef kiss. I think close second is definitely Shadows Die.
Ooh, that is a good one from Richard and Divine.
That's a good one. I love the intro, Shadows Die. I think it'll be Walk Away off their 4th album. That's got some absolutely killer solos.
Favorite song I can say is Sweet Blasphemy.
Okay.
I love that song. I have it tattooed on my back too.
Now, the trick is now, do you like the original or the remake one?
Okay.
I know.
While I will say both are awesome, I do prefer the newer one, actually. Just the way, okay. So you know, like the end, like towards like the end of the song, how he sings, where he sings, "No, I won't believe this lie." I can't lie. I wish he did that for like the entire song and not just like that ending part, because the way he carried his vocals, I thought was personally so beautiful. I wish it was in the full song, but I do prefer the newer one.
Probably We Stitch These Wounds.
Okay.
I love that song. It's very like dramatic and theatrical, and I just like I listen to it, I think, almost every day. It's on like my workout playlist.
Nice.
Yeah, but other than that, I would say Youth and Whiskey.
Good one.
Legacy. The Perfect Weapon would be on there. I really like the Gunsling, but there's no studio version of that.
Yeah, I get that.
Like when
That's
I found
a good one.
That's like you went on YouTube. That's what you had. You had the Sex and Hollywood EP.
Oh, I always say my favorite song is New Year's Day, which is an odd one.
It is a bit of an odd one, but you know, I like the lyrics to that song a lot too. And,
I love it.
Top 5. Well, Faithless is my number 1. I enjoy that song so much. I enjoy it live a lot. So whenever I hear them play it live, it's just the energy that song puts out, the lyrics, I love it.
Favorite song is the one that I have tattooed on me. It is forever part of me. It is forever on my skin. It is Devil's Choir. And if anyone from the band is watching this, I plead that you play this song live, because I've never heard it live, Devil's Choir.
I've only been to one.
Wow, okay.
So I was supposed to go to the second one, but the pandemic happened.
COVID, yeah.
And I've seen Andy. But I've seen Andy 4 times because, like I said, when I dove back into it is when he was doing his Andy Black project.
Right.
So I was like, bam, 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 bam. I was driving to Cincinnati. I was all over the place. Yeah.
So many.
Wow. So have you did you go to a concert like when they first started art, when they still had the war paint on and everything?
I actually didn't get to go to any of those because I was like 19 and like in college.
Okay.
I didn't get to go and start seeing them until the Black Mass tour.
10 plus,
nice.
Including festivals.
Yeah. Wow, 10 plus. Lucky. I hope to get there soon.
Are we counting virtual?
Sure.
5, 3, Restitch, the virtual one. 11 Burning 2.
Nice.
The one they just did, the acoustic one. Unplugged. The
Unplugged, there you go, yeah.
And then 2018 Warped Tour and the Roxy show in 2018.
I think 8 or 10.
Nice.
Like, it depends, because I've seen like Andy with his solo project, and I've also seen Black Veil. I basically went to every show that was in North Carolina since 2010. So my first show was the Entertainment or Death tour. And then I saw them on AP tour, Warped Tour. Every year they were on Warped Tour. And then anytime they would come, like Church of the Wild Ones tour, the Black Mass tour, all those, any of the festivals they played in that area.
Not that many, actually.
Okay.
I think about 4 or 5. If I include downloads, maybe 6.
Probably about 20.
Wow, you have a number top of your head. That's awesome.
The great thing about the UK is you don't have to drive very far to get to the next city. So if they've got about 5 shows, I can go to about 3 of them: Nottingham, London, Norwich, which Andy likes to call Sandwich.
Okay, that one I might have to count. Real quick, does Warped Tour count as well?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I've been considering, like, do I, like, I guess it's live. Sure. Okay, sure. So.
Okay. So if we're gonna include that, I want to say, okay, wait a minute. Now I must ask. Does it
over 10?
Does his solo projects count?
No. Okay. No. Just Black.
So we're gonna cancel that out.
No, Andy Black. As much as I love him, no Andy Black.
Understandable. Let's see here. I want to say I've been to, just for Black Veil Brides, I think I've been to 4 or 5 Black Veil Bride concerts.
My first concert was in 2014. I was 16 years old. And then I went once in 2015, no, twice in 2015, so 3. I think I've been to 7 now.
I think just like because it's the most sentimental to me would be the first time I met them. Was at, it's this little, it was honestly, it was a bar. Like the stage was like in a corner, it was maybe a foot or 2 off the ground.
Okay.
The brewery was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it was on the Entertainment of Death tour. I believe it was October 9th of 2010. And I begged my parents to let me go. I think it was like 14 or so. And a group of me and my friends went. And we got there, I think 4 or 5 hours in advance. So, yep, in war paint and everything, sitting out in front of this venue waiting for it to open. And there was like a group of people that were there that somehow got there earlier than us.
They're always, I swear.
Yeah, and it was like a whole group of them, and we were like talking and hanging out with them. And the funniest thing is, like, I saw Motionless in White last January and ran into them again 10 years later. So like literally in Virginia, ran into them again. So like made friends at that show that like, those were some of the first people I made friends with when I moved to Virginia. And like being there with all of my friends and getting to see like them live after like having found them not too long before. And I remember like, it was Knives and Pens, and like Andy was like leaning over the crowd so the people in front were like holding him up, and he like grabbed my hand, but he grabbed it like this and like squeezed it, and I thought my hand was gonna break, but I was like, I gotta keep him up. It didn't. But I was like, oh, he's strong. But like, it was just like the most fun thing ever, and just like getting to spend that time with my friends and then seeing this band. And then afterwards they had a meet and greet and all, and like Cece had just joined the band. It was his first
time. Yes.
And I was like, I want to meet him, and I want to be like, you know, I'm so happy you're in the band. And I came up to him, and he was like, how was the show? And I was like, oh, I loved it. This was my first concert ever. And he like jumped over the table and was like, give me a hug, and just like hugged me and everything. And it was just like so nice. And I literally like went home that night and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is
starstruck, everything.
And it was great. And
that's amazing.
The numero uno memory, the best one would be in 2013. It was February 14th, my very first Black Veil Brides concert. That was when I was just starting out at pro wrestling, and I wanted to hold myself accountable. So I said, I draw inspiration from this person. So if I tell them what my dream is, I can't go back on it, like I'm stuck in there. So I said, Andy, I want to become a wrestler. And he was like, that's fucking awesome. And I just remember that. I remember on the train ride home just feeling like, yeah, that is fucking awesome. and you know, it's just a little moment like that. It's really, and you know, inspirational. And you can tell that he takes time, because it was Valentine's Day. He wanted to get back to Juliet and Skype her, of course. And he still took the time to chat with fans after the show, which we didn't want to take up too much of his time, but that was really sweet.
Favorite moment was Carolina Rebellion. I wore Cece's war paint, and we went through the line to get their autographs. And Cece just like briefly looked up. They've been having like trouble the whole tour process. And he briefly looked up, looked down to sign, and then like he lit up. Like, it just registered in his brain that I was wearing his war paint. And he grabbed my hand and started smacking it really hard and telling me how excited he was that I was in his war paint this far into it, because it was just like 3 years ago. So he was really excited to see that, and that was just like a wonderful moment. I walked away going, he hurt my hand. With a huge smile on my face.
Wait, so when he was smacking it, was it just like that?
He was like holding it between his hands.
I have to say my favorite memory would be the first time that I went and saw them. I had taken my cousin. It was my first time going to a concert alone as like an adult.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah.
And we bought meet and greet. This was the Black Mass tour.
Okay, yeah.
And
I remember that.
I had bought Andy we were going through the lines and stuff, and we had stood outside for like 3 hours in the snow, waiting for for this to start. Going into the venue and stuff, like the guys just were so genuine to us. I remember being really nervous to look Andy in the eye, and I think it might have been Jinx.
Okay.
Who was like, it's okay, he doesn't bite hard. And I'm like, oh great. And then one of the other guys was like, it's okay, we fed him. So I get over to him, and I had bought him this Batman laser light, and I gave it to him, and I was explaining to him how I bought it, and it made me think of him, so I thought he had to have it, and my cats were just completely obsessed with it. And he's like, forget my cats, I have bandmates. So he's sitting there, and he starts playing with it, and he's shining the light all over people, and he turns to the one of the guys sitting next to him, and he starts shining the light all over them while they're trying to like sign autographs and stuff. And they turned around, and he had mentioned that someone else had bought him one on tour, and it mysteriously disappeared, or the batteries went dead or something. And they kind of gave me this look, and I was like, did I start something bad?
Oh.
There's like a few that's like up there. First one that means the most to me, like they all mean a lot to me, but
right.
It was my 18th birthday. It was Disrupt Festival, and Andy actually tied a Never Take It Off bracelet onto me.
Oh my god.
Julia and Andy did, but because they did meet and greets, and I had Andy tie this on me.
Wow. Oh.
You know, I'll just go ahead and say that for me, my favorite memory has to be the very first. One of the very first. Like, there's so many memories though. I would have to say it was probably the second concert I went to of theirs. It was my first time getting VIP to meet them, and I think it was just really cool. You know, for my first time, I was super nervous, so I didn't say anything. I was so quiet, but they were nice enough to start the conversation for me. You know, each of them were just like, hey, I like this of yours, or hey, how's it going? And then because they started the conversation, it made me feel more comfortable. So that's probably my favorite memory with them, is just, you know, they're just too nice.
Right.
With Andy, my most memorable was at one of his shows and at VIP. And I had made him that Batman bracelet. I made him a Batman bracelet, and he actually let me put it on his wrist.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I showed him the bracelet, and he's like, oh, well, here, let's put it on. And he like put his hand out and let me put it on his wrist. It was so sweet. 51-year-old fangirling. So I was like shaking. I'm like, oh, I'm like, is it gonna fit?
Definitely seen them in concert first time. That was one of my first ever real concerts at all. You know, I remember the lights going dim and the music in the background going off.
Yeah.
I just remember my heart beginning to pound. So like, oh my god, it's time. Oh wow, it's happening. And then I see Jake and Jinx walk on. I see Cece walk onto stage, and then Jake and Jinx follow. And as soon as Andy strolls on, he gives this crowd a proper mean look. That Andy scowl. All the girls start screaming. I think my ears are bleeding at this point. You know, a song hasn't even started, but yeah, it was to see these people who I've been like admiring for 3 years, to see them in front of me in the flesh for the first time. Such a mind fuck, really. It was just wow. My breath was taken and I couldn't believe it, and I
get it.
sat there in awe, and it was just amazing.
In 2015, the specific concert I went to was an intimate show, and it was like a one-off. And they hadn't done an intimate show for like years, but they brought it back in 2015, which I absolutely loved, because I just spent watching concerts at home on YouTube, dreaming I could go, and then I did. But in 2015, I was at the barriers, so I got very close, and Andy held my song while he sang Rebel Love Song. And I was like dying, because I was like, I'm holding Andy's hand. But man, let me tell you, that grip on that man.
Oh my God. Oh,
like,
okay.
I melted. I was just like, oh my God.